New Zealand's always been dominated by foreign companies, whether it was colonisation or neoliberalism. Now what the government's done is negotiate in secret for us to sign up to the TPPA. I've been working around these deals for several decades now. One of the biggest problems about the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement is that it gives foreign investors the right to sue sovereign governments when governments do what they should, when they regulate or introduce new policies. Investor-state disputes are basically an assault on our sovereignty. They challenge our right to have our government act in our interests in the future. One of the worst examples of how this right of foreign investors to sue governments operates is what's happened with Gold in El Salvador. You've got a country where 97% of the water supply is contaminated. You use cyanide to extract gold. That affects the water supply. When you have toxic water supplies, as the people of El Salvador have to face, you have health issues, you have displacement issues, you have a whole lot of social issues. People of El Salvador have been fighting against colonisation for centuries. Now they're faced with the corporate colonisation of mining companies. The people of El Salvador said no more. And the government finally imposed a moratorium on more mining licences. Gold has turned around and sued the government of El Salvador under an agreement with the US. It wants $300 million from a really poor country. When El Salvador defends itself in one of these investment tribunals, it's not like an ordinary court. The judges are actually practicing investment lawyers as well. They're ad hoc tribunals, so they're just set up for the case. There's no consistency or predictability in what will happen. So it's a real problem. It's a dodgy system. Gold in El Salvador is just one example of a whole series of outrageous cases that use these investor-state processes. There's a massive backlash internationally against them. This backlash is a groundswell that is only going to grow. Around the world, governments are withdrawing from these agreements. They're saying no more. So we need to join with them and make sure that this deal never happens. Gold already has operations in New Zealand. So for New Zealand to bind ourselves more deeply into this regime is an abdication of the responsibility of the government for the future.